everyone, I'm Keith Mathis. On this video, I'm going to talk about the PMP Bootcamp, how it transforms people for the exam. Now, as we look at the PMP Bootcamp, the reason why people attend it, first off, you have to have 35 hours in order to qualify to take the test, along with your 4,500 hours if you have a bachelor's degree, or 7,500 hours if you don't. But the real reason behind going through a boot camp is more than just the qualifying hours. It's to get you to think like the PMP test. It's to get you accustomed to the PMP type of questions. So one of the first things that you get exposed to in this in the PMP exam prep boot camps is going to be scenario questions. The PMP test is 200 questions. They're going to remove 25 of those questions, but you're going to have scenario questions that's going to put you as a project manager into a situation, and they're going to ask you what you should do next. They're really not asking you what you would do. They're asking you, what does PMBOK talk about? What does the material that they have listed on the content, the course content? They're asking you, what does the processes mean? So the scenario questions it takes a little bit of getting used to, because normally there's going to be 2 right answers on each question, and you're picking out the best answer of the 2. You also, these questions are situational, problems, issues, outcomes, inputs, outputs, tools. They can ask you a lot of different situations, but they're looking to see whether or not you understand the processes, the methodologies, the outcomes, and the inputs and outputs, all of those different pieces associated with the type of scenario question they're asking you. Also, the questions will have those 2 right answers, but one is considered to be more right in relationship to that particular question. And that's the reason why a lot of times when you're getting ready for this, and you learn in the boot camps key words that allow you to distinguish between 2 different types of terms that are very, very close. Each question requires the test taker to align with the PMI standards, the guidelines, the articles, and other course material. It does not just focus on PMBOK, as some people have thought and some people have said. It focuses on a lot of different material. PMBOK is one of those pieces of material, but it's focusing on a lot of different material. It's focusing on the topics that are printed out and given to you in the PMP course outline. And so those tasks and those topics are what's included in this test. And then answering the questions based on the culture of one's organization almost always guarantees failure. The only time it would not guarantee you failing the test is if your organization was 100% aligned with what the PMI standards and processes, methodologies, and all of these types of components. If your organization is so aligned to PMI that that's the way everything's functioning and you're calling it the exact same things, then you probably are okay with that. But most organizations are picking and choosing what they're going to align with because of their culture and internal processes. And there's nothing wrong with that, but don't answer it the way you do it in real life at your organization. That's almost always going to be the wrong answer. Now, perfect team, perfect project. For the purpose of this test, getting in the exam prep boot camp gets you thinking about this is a perfect team and a perfect project. For an example, I'm not sure how your organization does it, but are you aware that according to, and for purposes of this test, that after the charter is signed, that the project manager has full authority to spend all the money and run the project without having anything else signed off on? Now, this might be different than the way it is in your real world. That's the reason why you attend a boot camp, is to get you thinking about the perfect team and the perfect project. So questions focusing on the PM, this PM is going to have power, they're going to have authority, they're going to be able to make decisions. And so when you're thinking about this, if you think about it from a projectized type of organization where the project manager has power, this is going to be a little better positioning than if you think about it in a traditional sense or a functional sense. Now, situations will follow the processes and the standards on this test. Do not violate the process, do not violate the standards. Many times the trick is that they're looking to see whether or not you will violate a process. Even if other people think that you should violate a process, whatever processes you have put into place for your project management plan, those are the processes that should be followed. Now, you don't have to use all the processes that PMI talks about, but whatever processes you and the team have agreed upon as a project manager that will fit this project, Don't violate those processes. Also, never violate the processes. And once the sponsor signs the charter, the PM has power and authority to spend the budget to run the project without any additional sign-offs or approvals. The other thing that fits into this that you might be a little different than the real world for you is the charter. The charter is the responsibility of the sponsor. The business case is the responsibility of the sponsor. The project manager might be brought into the charter as a subject matter expert early to give feedback, but the responsibility of the charter is never the project managers. It's always the project sponsors. So these are just some small pieces of things that you would learn in the boot camp that you would not know, and you would have a tendency to answer it in the wrong direction and possibly fail the test. Remember, the test you can only take 3 times. So you want to make sure you're as prepared as possible to take that test the first time as you go through. Now, if you have any questions about being able to take the test or about any of the boot camps, you can contact our office, or we have other videos here answering other questions and giving you other insights into the PMP test. So I hope you have a great day. Bye now.